Hi, my name is Bree, and I make whimsical fairy tale inspired short films. This video is celebrating that I've reached 100,000 subscribers, and I thought it would be really cool to go back to the first video I ever made, which was Mermaid Dreams, and do a reunion with my friends that I filmed Mermaid Dreams with. So if you look at my video history timeline on my channel, it says that the first video on there is a World Mermaid Awards announcement. That's actually not correct because the first two videos I ever made, I ended up deleting and re-uploading them multiple times, so they ended up higher up on the list. But originally, the first video I had ever made was Mermaid Dreams. And then the second video I had ever made after that was The Evening in the Fairy Forest. So if my timeline was actually in chronological order, if I had never deleted anything, it would be Mermaid Dreams, the Fairy Forest video, then the World Mermaid Awards announcement, and then so on and so forth. Everything after that would be in order. But I had some issues with music stuff. That's why I ended up having to delete and re-upload. And if you want to hear that story, I'll share it at the end of this video. So I'll tell you what happened there. But I got in touch with the two other girls that are in that video, and we recorded an entire video chat about this original video that I made, and we chatted for almost 2 hours. So I actually had a really hard time editing it down to the 30 minutes that are in this video. So it was really fun just remembering everything with them and reminiscing and talking about how we made the video and how this all came about. So I hope you enjoy our chat. Okay, hi.
Hi.
Okay, would you like to introduce yourselves? Who are you and which mermaid were you?
Not it. Well, I'm Riley, but I don't remember my color.
You were Silver Mermaid.
Oh, I'm Silver.
Yes.
And I'm Rose, and I was Blue Mermaid?
Yeah, or green. I think it was there was two different blue colors, but they were slightly different. So I called one blue and one green to differentiate, and I think you were the green one.
Are you sure I wasn't the blue one?
We'll have to go check in the credits, however I worded that. Okay, so basically...
I'm Rose and I was a mermaid.
All three of us were mermaids, that's all that matters. So this is a super exciting reunion because the three of us have not been together for basically a decade. I think
more.
Since around the time that we made that video. So yeah, maybe more than a decade. I don't know exactly how much more, but it's been a while. So you guys were in my Crazy Mermaid video.
Yes.
Do you both remember when I first said, hey, I'm making a video and this is what it is and would you like to be in it? Do either of you remember what you thought of it at the time?
I was just really confused. But I was all for it.
I remember that, Brie, you're very convincing. So I don't think you hardly asked as much as you were we're doing this, and this is a good idea. And at the time I was oh yeah, of course. But I remember when we were filming it, the thing I remember always is that me and Riley were Bree, this is because we love you so much.
Yeah,
we're doing this because we love you.
A lot of convincing.
Yeah.
We really love you.
I didn't know what a commitment it was gonna be.
Yeah, I didn't know either.
We're filming a movie.
Yeah, she was so prepared. I was oh, we'll just go. Cool.
That's so funny. Yeah, well, and you guys, bless your souls, you both did so amazing because what I remember is that I gave both of you zero preparation.
Right.
when
I showed up, I was this is a movie set.
Yeah, I had my tails and I had swam in them before because that's what I did back then. But, like, you guys had never done that before.
No, I had no idea how to use those things.
Yeah, and so I literally, and I don't advise this for anyone to do this. I'm so glad you guys survived. But I remember, like, basically the day of the shoot, I gave you the tails, and I was like, okay, put them on, get in the pool and swim.
And we were, like, trying. We're like, how do you swim with these things?
Mm-hmm.
That's why some of the earlier comments are like, wow, that silver girl cannot swim.
Oh my gosh,
You guys try it.
Yes,
It's
like
hard.
people were like commenting on like my like when I was like trying to like dive and get in there. I was like, you guys have no idea the
Oh my
learning
gosh.
for a tail. Okay,
You
It
try
is.
this. It's hard.
It's a lot harder than it looks.
yeah.
It-
And I think
And
like
colder.
and
Yeah,
then
that too.
we had no idea how cold it was going to be. I think their pool was supposed to be heated, but
Yeah, I think because it was almost summer over, so she had the heat turned up.
yes. I remember it was September. I remember they had turned the heat off, but they didn't tell us that until we got there because you were telling us, well, they have a heated pool. It should be still heated.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we got there, your friend was like, well, they turned it off because we thought it'd be warmer, but there was like a cold snap.
Yes.
Remember, like, that's why we were saying, Brie, we love you because we were so cold. I mean, we kept thinking it was like, oh, a few scenes. We're like, man, this is like a whole movie. Like, you had the directions, you had like written out the scenes that you wanted, which was awesome, but I had no idea it would be so cold.
Well, thank you guys. After all these years, I'm saying thank you for being in my video.
Worth it.
Good. Hopefully it was worth it.
I can't believe that was your, like, when you were telling me, like, that was your first video, like, putting up. I cannot believe it because you had everything, like, I was saying, like, I remembered everything, like, so prepared. You had, like, which scenes you wanted. You had, like, written it out to the song, like, when you wanted it to go, where. It's, like, very detailed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a long movie.
It was, yeah.
8 minutes.
Yeah, I think that was the one thing that I hadn't planned out at all. Like, I planned it definitely to the song, but I never thought twice about, like, when this is done, it's gonna be so many minutes, you know? Like,
Yeah.
and it was, like, I feel like we had, like, a pretty full day shooting it. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like it was not just a couple hours. It was, like, the day, like, the full day.
Yeah, I always think you were, like, swimming in mermaid things. I knew you had a song picked out, and I remember you had it for us ahead of time. So, like, you made the costumes, you did awesome at that, and you, like, I remember going to your house, like, get a fitting, like, make sure everything fit okay.
Fitting, so professional.
Yeah, I should have known by that you'd have
Yeah. You should have known that this meant business.
Well, your mom helped with that. That was really neat.
Yeah, so the tails, the mermaid tails, so I made the video because I had the tails, not the other way around. So, because, I mean, we all know how obsessed I was with mermaids back then.
Yeah.
So I had actually had those tails for a few years because my mom made them for me. And, like, back then, okay, here's the thing. Back then, there wasn't, like, a whole lot of internet, and there definitely wasn't YouTube yet.
Yeah.
And so for me, like, I had never seen someone make a mermaid tail before. Like, that was unheard of. You only saw them, like, in the movies, like, the costume tails in movies.
You couldn't even get mermaid costumes, I know, because
I know, you couldn't. Because the mermaid Halloween costumes were, like, dresses where they go down and out like that. So you
they
couldn't...
weren't.
Yeah, I remember a lot of people in the comments were just like, whoa, those tails.
Yeah. And those tails were actually not the first one. The first time that my mom made a mermaid tail for me when this idea first came was in elementary school. I think I was, like, in the 4th grade. And I was like, Mom, let's make a mermaid tail. And then I grew out of it. And so then I was like, Mom, let's make another one. But this time, let's make more than one so my friends can wear them. Because I also, like...
very patient mom.
I know. Well, luckily she enjoys sewing. So it was
She
like...
really likes the sewing part.
Yeah. So we basically, like, made a pattern out of nothing. Just kind of, like...
You guys came up with a pattern.
Yeah, just kind of like, okay, well, we should do this, and this will work, and we used swimsuit fabric from the fabric store so that it would, like, be swimmable in water. And then, like, basically at the time when YouTube came out and nobody really knew what it was yet, it was like brand new. That's kind of like how it ended up coming about, that I was like, dude, I should like do something fun with these tails because I have them and all I do is swim in them. Like, I should do something creative, you know? And so that's how the idea for the video came about. And then I only had the tails. I didn't have like the rest of the costumes. So the tops and the crowns I made for the video, but the tails I already had.
Well, and that's cool because then you started selling them on Etsy. That was
neat. I definitely,
like, Etsy was like relatively new then too. Like, now people make those type of costumes for like festivals and stuff like that. But nobody was making anything like that.
Yeah, that's actually how I ended up starting selling them in the first place, because people were commenting and they're like, where can I buy these costumes? Like, where did you get them? And I was like, well, I made them. And the reason I made them is because I can't get them anywhere. Like, they don't exist. Like, you can't buy these. That's why I made them, because I couldn't find them to buy. So
that kids were older than the internet.
Huh? Yeah.
Thanks for pointing that out.
Going off of the costume things, Rose, you actually, because I remember 2 of the tops, I got swimsuit tops from the thrift store and made the tops out of them. But then yours, you graciously donated a swimsuit top that you already had.
Oh, yeah. That was my favorite swimsuit top, too. So it was really a risk, but it came back way better than I started.
Well, that was like even more gracious that you donated your favorite swimsuit top. But I loved it because I remember thinking, and like I'm probably the only one who thinks this way, it's fine, but I remember thinking that it was so cool that like all 3 tops had like different strap styles.
Yes.
So like one of them had like
too.
the V, the other one had like the inverted V or whatever, and then yours had it like around. And I loved how they were all 3 like different styles. Like, I don't know, little things like that I think are so cool. So I was pretty excited about it.
Yeah, and all the headdresses were different.
Yeah.
That's what the headdresses.
Yeah, I remember making the headdresses and like picking like different style seashells for the different like headbands, and then like I wanted all of them to have I don't know what you call it, but like something coming off of them, like not just the headband itself, but like turn it into sort of like
thingy.
Crown veil thing. Yeah. And so I had like different ones for each thing. And I just thought it was so cool that they were all like mixed and matched. And you, Rose, you mentioned that you still have that top because you found it recently.
Oh my gosh.
I literally just found it this summer. I was like moving stuff and I was like, oh my gosh. It still looks really cool too, and it like held up really well.
Yeah.
Wait, you still have yours?
No. I do not have anything left from that video except for there's only one thing left that I have from that video, and it is the disposable camera pictures.
Oh, cool.
And also, like, I had a hard time remembering, like, what was the exact date of, like, when we did this, because even, like, uploading it, I deleted it twice, and so the upload that's there now is my 3rd time uploading it, and so I couldn't even remember, like, what was the exact, like, actual year or date that, like, we did this.
It was
and
2008.
Yeah.
It was in September, because we weren't expecting it to be that cold in September.
Yeah, and see, now I know that because this has the date on it, and so this confirmed when we did it.
God.
I don't know if you remember these, but look at some of these.
Some of those are really cool. I remember they were pretty hard to get because we had to like keep ourselves straight at the same time. Like, you had very specific things I know that you wanted in like the water shot. So you like wanted one where we were like kind of like looking at each other, touching.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I have those in here.
Having our eyes open and closed.
I know. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm sorry.
It was like burning in the chlorine. But, I mean, I thought it was cool because when it came out later, they weren't just, like, random. Like, you had them, like,
wow, that's awesome.
Oh, my gosh.
You could sell that at, like...
Terrible. Okay, but what people don't understand is, like, so when you're using the tails, which I didn't realize because that was my first time using them. Like water kind of, or air gets into them if you're not careful, and they're really hard to keep underneath the water. So it's like Riley both struggled. When we had to go down, it was like it pulls you right back.
Yeah, I know, because like they float. So you're going down and the tail is going, come back up, come back up.
Come back up. And that's why sometimes it looks like we don't know how to swim, like, at all. Because we were literally trying to figure out.
No, we had like 5 minutes practice.
Yeah, that's the thing. It was the disposable waterproof camera. So that was the other thing, too, is that every single shot was being clicked blindly. Like, the person who was shooting it, he had to go down and like take the pictures, not seeing what he was actually taking a picture of, because it was a disposable camera, so you can't like see
like, oh, that almost worked, to do it a little bit different, because you couldn't see until you got them developed.
Yeah, you don't know until they're all developed, and then you just, what you got is
3 people trying to get it all together right at the same time.
Some of them didn't turn out. Like, see that thumbprint right there?
Oh, yeah. Is that
that's finger?
Huh?
Is that his finger?
Yeah. Rose, it's me and you, and your face looks amazing, and I look like a ding-dong.
Yeah, right. You look good in all of that.
And my arm, I'm, like, pushing you up. Because I was, like, floating up when we were doing that. Dude, there was, like, plenty of photos that didn't make the cut. Let's just say that. Didn't make the cut.
You know what was fun was taking the pictures of, like, I think it was somewhere too, but the 3 of us, like, out of the water afterwards.
Yeah, those were cool. I loved those.
I just remember having fun, like, taking those and finally getting a chance to have a towel and get warm.
Yes.
Do you have those pictures somewhere of the ones of, like, us afterwards when we were, like, out of the pool?
I don't have those. I
had them on MySpace, and I deleted my MySpace account.
Oh, yeah, I don't even have those anymore. Literally, these are the only ones I have that are the underwater ones. This one, I think this one actually might be, like, the picture for the title, because it's so, like, blurry, like, you can't tell what you're looking at.
Oh, it's just, like, bubbles or something.
Yeah. And then this one, this was one of my favorite pictures. This was my favorite out of the whole set, because Rose's face looked so amazing in this shot.
That's a perfect picture.
Literally.
I can't believe I'm just not floating to the surface at that point.
This is the shot that I look at Rose's face and I'm like, if there was a real mermaid, this is it. Like, this is the most real mermaid I've ever seen right here.
That's the candid mermaid.
Yes, that was
in that
my
shot,
favorite.
Look at you in that one.
I don't even like my face in that one. I just like yours.
Are you kidding me?
Oh my god.
But your arms are, like, held up, like, perfect. I feel like that's, like, you know the part where they're all, like, singing and, like, the Little Mermaid? I feel like that's what it looks like where they have their arms.
Oh, yeah. I was happy. Yeah. So for my side of it, I was really happy that the tail had a little peekaboo right here. Like, it gives you that, like, flowy effect. But I feel like it was, like, a good picture overall. But I definitely...
The way the light comes in, too.
Yeah, cool. And the light, that's, like, what made it. And it's, like, so perfect on your face, like, right there. But I definitely was like, man, this picture's so good because of Rose, not because of me.
Yeah, I thought the opposite, but...
I just remember, like, funny little things about the video people don't realize. Like, the end of the video, laying in my bed after I woke up from the dream.
Mm-hmm.
We wetted my hair in the bathroom sink.
Yep.
And then, so my bedroom is where I was sleeping. That was my real bedroom. My house doesn't exist anymore. It was torn down. And then I open up my bedroom door, and it goes to Jessie's house. She has the pool. So it's her hallway.
Yep.
So that was pretty cool. Magic.
Did you just record that part where you're, like, in bed and you wetted your hair and stuff? That I wasn't there for that part, right?
I think we did that first. I think we did it first.
Yeah.
And then when we were there, like, I remember going down her stairs and, like...
Yeah, because I think you just met us at Jessie's house.
Yeah.
Who was down the street from my house.
Yeah. Riley, I remember when we're doing the scene where you're going down the stairs, and I remember telling you to go so slow, and, like, I think we did a few takes, and every take I was like, go slower. And you like went
and I
slower.
My hand opening up the door.
Yes. And you like reached for the doorknob and I was like, go slower. And you did it like so slow and I was like, go slower. And so finally you're like, and I was like, yes, perfect. Let's move on.
Yeah, I watched that video now and that part makes me anxious.
Really?
Like, oh my God.
That's so funny. But that's the thing. Like, I had to make it slow because it had to go with the music. And so I was like, if you do this faster, all the other music cues are going to be off.
Oh my gosh.
I remember when we were shooting that scene when you woke up, and I was the one with the camera filming that scene, and that was like the first time that I actually filmed something myself with the camera. Like, it wasn't the other guy doing it, it was me. And I remember filming that shot and realizing how terrible I was at filming, because you get up and your head is like being raised off the pillow, and in the moment I'm like, oh my gosh, like, do I keep the camera still? Do I follow you? Like, and so literally the whole thing is me going like this because I have no idea like what to do, and I was like, okay, now I know that I'm terrible at filming.
Just takes practice, like the tails.
Yeah.
Like swimming with tails.
Yeah, the swimming with tails for the first time experience for you guys, that was me with the camera experience. Like, my first time was like, exactly.
What's your favorite parts, Rose?
My favorite parts, well, now when I want to, which is very rarely, I get to say, when everyone started to become a thing where they were like, I'm a mermaid, and it was like this, everyone's buying like the shirts and like the, stuff for their house, and they're like, I'm a true mermaid. It's my spirit animal. I'm like,
yes.
Really? So I'm an original mermaid.
I have a Little Mermaid tattoo that I got a few years ago. And I remember telling the tattoo artist, I was in a YouTube video years ago.
I actually am a mermaid. So
way before it was cool. I've liked mermaids longer than anybody.
I don't tell any of them that I like protested about the video once we were there, and at times felt like an idiot because I like the way I was swimming in a tail. I just like, go with the part where I'm like, yeah, I'm one of the original mermaids. So
I remember when people will be like, oh, I'm obsessed with mermaids. I'll be like, well, you haven't met my friend Brie.
You have no idea. I remember that I really liked mermaids for a long time because, like all of us who grew up with like Little Mermaid and stuff, and I was like really, really into them. And then I met Brie, and I was like, I'm not into them at all compared to Brie.
Yeah. Yeah.
We like bonded over this, but she definitely way outdid me.
Yes. That was fair. I thought I liked Tinkerbell until I met Brie.
Yep. When we all started realizing that like people were watching the video, that we didn't think that anyone was going to watch it. Yeah. And then finding out that they were, I'm very interested in what your guys' reactions were to that. And then
nowadays, I remember I had a cousin find that video years later. That was so weird. I got a text one day. Is this you? Yeah. Yeah.
That's so funny.
And I got, why? I don't know.
Why?
My friend knew it.
I know. I think no idea that so many people would find that later. And
yes.
Like, hey, I saw you as a mermaid. I'm like, no, you didn't.
Well, a few months ago, I was getting out of the shower and I could hear that song. And I come racing out, and my husband has it on, and he's showing my daughter.
No!
And he goes, look, honey, that's Mom.
That's so cute.
And he was laughing about my black bedroom.
Dude, I loved that bedroom. So many good memories hanging out in there.
The bridge room.
I remember being a little bit embarrassed because people would find that, like, with the video, like, right afterwards when it started getting a lot of attention or watching, I'm like, oh my gosh, so many people are watching this. I remember like random people, like you said, like random people finding it and being like, hey, is this you? I'm like, no. Because some people I was like, it's cool, and the other people I'm like, I don't want you to see me as a mermaid. Like,
right.
I'm like, no, that's not me.
Well, and at the beginning, when it first started getting popular and I was still young and insecure, I'd be like, just reading all those comments, and I'd find just a few rude ones, but just enough to like hurt my feelings and be like,
oh my gosh, I am so glad you said that, because I was the exact same.
Nice.
Because like I think even back then, like social media was so limited. Like there was like MySpace, like barely Facebook, like, and we just weren't used to. Like, now, I mean, you just get used to it after a while. There's always going to be someone saying something.
And now one is just more like, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, too, I think, like, people are looking at it, like, and they're leaving comments for, like, because I think the way that Brie did it, it looks like a whole production. Because it was. Like, I mean, I remember you had written down, like, what angles you wanted. Like, when you're coming down the stairs, you wanted it from, like, this angle coming, like, up. But, like, you have to remember at the time, too, like, putting videos together was like a really new thing, and like we had to Brie had to contact none of us had a video camera, so like Brie had to like
I didn't even have a video camera.
Yeah, so we had to have someone else there using it, well obviously because like, we couldn't take it, but like, and have someone else's camera, because I mean now it's like we could have made that on our phones, like, but back then you had to have like a video camera, and then like Brie was saying, like you had to do editing like on a program because we didn't, like, you didn't even own editing stuff, like you're literally putting it together like the first time, and so like we were just like learning as we went, and like
I don't know.
That's cool. That's pretty cool when you think about how much work went into making it. I
don't know if you guys knew this, because I don't remember if I ever told you this or not, or like if I called you guys on the phone when I was editing, like tearing my hair out, but
I remember you did a lot of work to put it together.
Well, I remember it took longer because I remember being like, why isn't it up yet?
Yes, because, okay, let me tell you the story. Now, years later, you get the full scoop. Okay, so our computer did not have an editing program on it because it was like the most basic like computer that you could get back then. And so I was using my boyfriend at the time. I was using his computer, which had the most basic, like if you have iMovie editing on your phone, that was like basically what it was like for the computer. And it was so, every single time I put a new clip on the, like, you have this timeline and you're editing like a clip at a time. Every time I put a new clip on the thing, the program would crash and I would have to start over. And so literally, for whatever reason, when I would watch the video as I was editing, I could only watch the clip I was editing and the one clip before it. I couldn't see anything else because it would crash. So,
and everything had to be timed, just put in there just right.
Yeah.
So you have to be checking it.
So the first time that I watched that video all the way through from start to finish was after it was uploaded on YouTube. And that's the one that's still on there.
Oh my gosh.
So there's like these moments at the end when I have like the credits and it's like our pictures and I'm putting our names on there and the timing's off, like the words like go at a different time than what the pictures do, or like overlap each other before they disappear. That's why, because I couldn't like watch it all the way through and like fix those mistakes. So that's why it took so long to finish it.
That is so frustrating.
Oh my gosh. I can't believe you went through all that and got it done.
I was determined, man.
Yeah.
Determined.
And then I think like it's like that you put so much work into it and it turned out so well, because it's still, I mean, like for the equipment and whatever we had for like literally that long ago, like it still looks pretty cool. Like I think you did a really good job, and like that, like
how old school it is now, it still is pretty neat.
Yeah, can you imagine the other stuff we watched from back then? I'm like, oh, that you can tell it's age. But that one, I'm like, well, I guess all of Brie's written out directions and everything paid off. So
especially now, like I still think the underwater pictures are pretty cool still.
Like they are,
because you can't do that with the phone.
Yeah.
All we had was like just that underwater disposable camera.
Yeah. And I remember after I got the pictures printed, I had to scan them at school to get them onto the computer.
Oh my God.
Because we didn't even have a way, like, even those, like, you don't have a way to digitally, like, transfer them onto the computer, so I had to scan them at school with their scanner.
Wow.
And I remember the teacher, like, it was, like, after class or something, and I would talk to the teacher, and I was like, I need to scan some pictures, is that okay? And he's like, oh, it's fine. And I'm scanning them, and he's like, what is this for?
You might know what
Don't worry about it.
But I remember for a while, I was telling Bria this the other day, like, for a while, this is maybe, like, 2 years after it was up, or 3, like, it was on the top, like, YouTube, you used to go to the homepage, and it'd be, like, a list of, like, the top watched videos to see if you watched any of them. And so I guess, like, our video was on that. And so then people were finding it from that, and they were, like, posting it, like, on my, like, Facebook and being like, Rose, we found you as a mermaid, or, like, this is you. I'm like, how did you find this? Like, it's on the top watched, like, ones, so.
See, and I never knew that either. Like, I had no idea.
Oh my gosh.
That's so cool.
I thought you knew. I would have told you.
No, I didn't know. I had no idea.
That's so weird how you can have videos up there for years and they'll get 20 views, and then you can post one, and then overnight there's thousands.
Mm-hmm.
You'll just never know. Like, because I didn't know anybody besides our friend group were going to watch it.
Same.
That's what I thought too. Well, we didn't ask you, Bray, before you go. We didn't ask you what your reactions to having it, actually putting all that work in and having
it. When you started going viral, your vision.
Okay, so, well, same as you guys, when I planned the video and, like, planned the idea of making it and putting it on YouTube, my entire mindset was like, okay, this is something that I'm gonna make because I want to watch it for fun. Like, I want to enjoy a little mermaid thing and, like, do something creative, you know.
You wanted a good excuse to wear your tail again.
Exactly. It was like, this would be really fun to, like, do something more with these tails I have rather than just actually swimming in them in real life. And so I literally, like, my expectation was that I was the only person who was gonna watch it. Like, I mean, I knew you guys would watch it because you're in it, but I didn't even, like, honestly, I don't think I even shared it with people that we knew. Like, I didn't even, like, post it or share it with, like, my community of people or, like, friends and family or whatever. I literally was like, it's just gonna be me watching this. So, like, I didn't even tell people that I made it. Like, I didn't even, like, share it with my local, like, friends and family community. So I remember, like, every few days or every so often, I would, like, go back and check on it and just see it again. Because, like, I was watching it. Like, that was why I made it, and I did. I watched
you watch
it
it a few million times?
I did.
I'm just kidding. I actually thinking at first the views were from us. Like, that must just be
Yeah, I know. Like, at first I was like, man, I've watched this, like, quite a few times. That number. But then, like, after a while, I started noticing that it was, like, snowballing. I think the thing that got me was not seeing the amount of views on it, because I feel like maybe I wasn't really even processing it that much. Like, I was seeing the number, but I wasn't like, oh, like, this many people are watching this video. It was kind of almost just, like, going over my head. But it was, like, when I would start getting comments, and I'm like, this is a comment from someone I don't know, you know? Like, this is not my family and friends commenting. It's people I don't know. And I think that's the thing that really, like, kind of clicked with me, that I was like, oh, like, people are actually watching this. Like, and it's growing. Like, people are still watching it, and it's a lot of people. I feel like it didn't really hit me until, like, a long time later, looking back in hindsight, and I was like, whoa, like, a lot of people watched that. But in the moment, I feel like I, like, wasn't processing it. But I do remember that the comments I was getting from the beginning that I remember, people were saying, like, you should make more videos. You should do, like, a series or whatever. And that was what got me, like, hey, like, if some people are watching this, like, you know, I could make some more videos. Like, I have tons of ideas. Like, there's no shortage of ideas of things I would want to make. So, like, maybe I should make another one. And then that's how I ended up, like, making more videos. And then it kind of just started unfolding into other things. But that was how it started, was, like, people actually commented, like,
YouTube channel.
Huh?
It's what really blew up your YouTube channel.
Yeah.
We're the OGs right here, though.
I know. You are, though. You're the first. You two are the first.
But, like, I think it's awesome that you kept doing it, and I mean, I know how professional you are about stuff, and, like, you love doing something that means you spend time, you look into it, and, like, very big congratulations to you for, like, reaching 100,000 subscribers. Like, that's a really big deal.
Thank you. Yeah.
Congratulations. Thank you for inviting us to come along today.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks for doing this video chat with me. This is so exciting. Like, this video chat is way more exciting for us than anybody else who could possibly be watching it.
Because I'm like actually like super excited to like have the excuse to like see you guys like faces.
Well, this is my favorite way to socialize. So.
Yeah. Well, have a good rest of your days. Take care.
Happy Wednesday, ladies.
Happy Wednesday.
And say see you guys soon, hopefully.
Yeah.
Yes.
Bye.
Well, if you're still here watching this video at this point, you might be wondering about the music thing and what happened with that. So the whole thing of like copyrighted music and like not posting things online that have that kind of music, stuff like that, was very like vaguely heard of, but not really understood at that time because everything was so new at that point. So I didn't really understand what the whole copyrighted music thing was all about. So I didn't think twice about picking just a song, like a normal existing song out in the world, and making this video to it. So when I uploaded the video, and over time it ended up getting way more views than I was expecting. I ended up getting those like copyright claim thing or whatever on the video. It started to resonate with me like, oh, this copyright thing is an issue because people are watching the video, and I didn't realize that was going to happen. I was like, oh no, like I think I want to make more videos now, so this might be a problem, like I need to fix this, figure out what's wrong with it. So I ended up deleting the video because of the music. And at the time, the only resource that YouTube really had for that was they had this like audio swap library. And this was a long time ago, so the audio swap library had very few songs on it. I did the best I could picking a song from the audio swap library, and it was horrible. It did not go with the video at all because I had made the whole video to go with the other song, and so like nothing lined up, and it just didn't have the same emotion that the other song had. It didn't have the same vibe or feeling that the other song had. It just like took all of that out of it and like killed it basically. Then I was so like unhappy with that music that I ended up deleting the video again because I thought, you know what? It honestly would be better to have the video completely mute because this is worse than just watching the video silently with no music at all. So then it was up a third time, but it was just silent. And I even remember getting comments, like people commented on the video saying like, I saw this before and I thought it had different music to it. And it did have different music to it because I had to delete it and do the copyright-free audio swap music and whatever. And then over time, years went by. So then it got to a point where we just understood more about it in general. And it was like, if you get a copyright claim, it doesn't necessarily mean that your whole channel is destroyed or whatever. It just means that the copyright owner is gonna get monetization for your video that you're not getting. At that point, I figured, well, in that case, it might be just fine that I have the original music on there still. So I think I had, the music was on there, but it was muted. So I don't even think I uploaded it another time at this point. I think I just unmuted the music that was on there, and that's how it is now. It's back to its original form with the song I had way in the beginning. Now that I'm actually making videos for my channel, now that I'm actually like broadening my horizons and like doing more for this YouTube channel, I'm constantly trying to figure out more correct, accurate ways to put music to the videos. So that is the music story. Thank you so much for watching this reunion chat video. I hope you enjoyed it.